So a man wanted me to make a video about moving to chicks in the workplace and how it can go left. So me personally, I've only dealt with one chick from my workplace. See, obviously I'm an electrician, so my environment is always going to be male dominated. I don't think I've ever come across a female electrician in my life. Seen a few on the internet, obviously. When I was going to do my inspection and testing exam, I remember I was outside the exam room. One chick came out. She wasn't nice, but I was just like, wow, Jesus Christ, like a female electrician and an electrical tester at that. I was surprised. I was even giving her like a clap in my head, like, yeah, respect to you. I had a female electrical tutor, but again, man's never had no female electrician colleagues and that. Like I said, I've dealt with one thing at work. Now, certain man, they would never want to make a move on a gal at their workplace and that, because they might be afraid that if they get turned down, they have to see the girl over and over again. They might be embarrassed and that. I mean, you shouldn't be worried about that. What you should be, I'm not going to say worried about, but what you should anticipate is just the gossip, blood. It's just foolish. I remember man was dealing with one thing at my workplace one time, and it's like adults, they don't know how to, it's like being in school, fam. People will always be making these stupid sly comments. Like, obviously, there was other people doing other stuff with other people in the workplace and that. You never heard me talking about this or gossiping about that. I just heard, oh, okay, them two are in a something. That's it. But with me, people always making these sly little stupid comments and gestures and that. Oh, where's your girlfriend and that? Oh, I heard this, I heard that. It's like, fam, you lot are fucking older than me, man. I'm the youngest in the room and you lot are gossiping like you lot are younger than me, man. Obviously, in the history of the world, have there been some people who have done stuff with chicks at work and that, and yeah, they got fired and that, yeah. So that is one thing to be careful of. I made a video the other day when I was talking about that guy who's a plumber, and he's just content with just earning £200 a day, which is good, which is decent money. But when you know you could be earning 500, 600, 700 pound a day, then you're on a joke thing. You're playing a fool's game. You're wasting a golden opportunity. So obviously he's a plumber, so he goes into like obviously people's houses and like women's houses. So I said to him, because man have to still remain a little bit professional. Although he was telling me about one drug dealer from Liverpool that this guy's on like a whole life tariff where he can't, he's not allowed to spend any money without the money being accounted for and that. So he's telling me some mad stories. So anyway, so he was telling me, he obviously goes into women's houses and that. So I said to him, has any of the women tried to flirt with you to try and get a discount and that? So he was like, you know what? That's never happened to him. And I was surprised. So he was like, yeah, he's come across like some other plumber boys and that young youths and that. And he said that, yeah, man, this fit bird was trying to push up on me or whatever, innit? Yeah, he was saying that he's never had that happen to him and that. So I was just like, okay, cool. I ain't gonna say nothing, but yeah. Obviously, you have to be careful moving to things in the workplace and that, because you never know, it could go left or whatever. And you know, all this Me Too and like I swear they was trying to bring in something where if you make a move on a gal in the street, like even politely and that, she could do you for some harassment and that. So you gotta be careful of that. You gotta be careful. I've seen men who are managers and that push themselves up and get a bit too close to gal, and it's not right. So basically, man used to have a vending machine in a community centre in Islington, in the Caledonian Road. And I remember, like, in the office of this community centre, I was talking to someone it's like a counter. I was talking to someone over the counter. They're sitting down. And there was this black girl, youngish, like probably my age at the time, 24 or whatever. She was sitting down, and some manager, he's not, I don't know who he is, maybe some sort of area manager who's higher up, because he's never there. And I was going in that community center all the time. I never knew who he was. I never saw him there. He was standing up and he was standing right beside her. Now he was quite tall and she was sitting down in a chair. Put it this way, this guy was standing so close to her, his bits was on top of her shoulder. And she's looked to her left. I saw it because she looked uncomfortable and that, but she didn't say nothing, innit? And I was thinking to myself, nah, this guy knew exactly what he was doing. Dirty. Yeah, the guy was standing right close to her. Like, there was no gap between them. Yeah? His bits was pretty much on top of her shoulder. And she's looked to her left, but she didn't say nothing. She didn't say enough. I see dumb stuff happening. I remember one time I was in Santander in Notting Hill near my old uni, and there must have been some issue with my account. Nothing serious and that, but there was something that the guy behind the counter, obviously the cashier and that, he couldn't work out. So he called his manager over. His manager came over, leaned like over him and coughed right next to his face because they were both looking at the computer screen and that. And I could see the guy like twitch and that, but he didn't say nothing. And I think to myself, this is the problem here. When you're in your workplace and that, and your manager don't respect you, they can take the fucking piss, blood. You have to. I don't care if your manager is above, like obviously if your manager is above you and that. You have to set fucking levels. I'm not having no manager talk to me like I'm a damn idiot. I'm not having no manager stand up close to me and that, blood. Give me my fucking space, blood. I'm not having no manager cough next to my head and I ain't gonna say nothing through fear of losing my job, blood. Don't care. But this is what happens, yeah. When you're an employee, this is the bullshit you have to put up with. This is the bullshit you have to put up with. So me personally, like in terms of dealing with gal, only one gal in my workplace that I can think of at the top of my head, and that obviously man's always worked around men and that, especially on them construction sites. There ain't no chicks walking around on construction sites and that. But you just gotta be careful in that because if something happens and that things go left, you're probably gonna lose your job, and that little bit of cat ain't worth losing your job. You know what I'm trying to say? But if a girl's interested in you, I'd still say run it. Just be careful in it. You know what I'm saying?